So in this week's spreadsheet, we'll finish what we started last week. Okay, so let's go to our cartoon characters again, and we want to split them based on the semicolon. So we say equals split, and we say that we want to split whatever in A1. Whatever in A1, we want to split it based on the semicolon there. So we say semicolon, but we have to put that inside the quotation mark. So we say split that based on the semicolon. So there we go. So we have Bugs Bunny, Warner Brothers. Okay, so now I've changed the width of the columns. I've hidden column A and column D. And we're ready to look at a new command, which is indirect. So this allows us to construct a cell name. So we say equals indirect. Okay, and in our case, we want to build something that starts with E. So we say quotes E, and then we're going to do an and sign that says put together E and we're going to take rand between, so a random number between 1, and if you look at what we have here, we have phrases 1 through 12. So rand between 1, 12. If we do that, we're going to build up an address based on a cell name. So it'll be E1 through E2 all the way to E12. And so when we hit that, we get tickles my funny bone. So if we look here, we found that it picked number 7. So random between number 7. Now if I go and reload the page, so I reload the page and we see might have been funny years ago. So this time the random picked number 11. I'm going to reload the page again. So one more time, I reload the page. It was always my favorite, might have been funny years ago. Okay, so we keep getting different values each time, so that'll make it more interesting, our phrases to do that way. So now let's edit our formula there where we have the indirect. And so we're going to start with concatenate. So we're going to concatenate, we're going to put together whatever's in cell B1, and then we'll put a space, so we do quotation marks and a space, and then whatever is in C1, and then we're going to put quotation marks and a space. Oh, but remember, what did we also want to do? We wanted to say proper with B1, so we make that into bugs, and we wanted to say proper with C1, so that made it into bunny with a capital B. And we have our space. And now, do our comma. And then we want to say, and we want to add into that whatever random phrase we get between 1 and 12. And then lastly, we want to remember to put in our period. So let's give that a try. So a nice long formula, be a challenge for you to do. Put it together and it doesn't work. Okay. And it says the indirect expects parameter 2 expects Boolean values. Okay? And so when I look at it, I see that I was missing, for indirect, missing a parentheses. Okay? So you see it happens to me. I was a programmer for 20 years. Okay? Don't get discouraged. Okay? So I add that parentheses, and now I put it in. It looks like you're missing one or more open parentheses. So I try again. Oh, I see that there's extra parentheses at the end. So I put my parentheses in the wrong place when I started. So now it looks like I got them in the right place. And there we go. Bugs Bunny is the best of all time. Okay. So now let's propagate that formula. So we propagate it down and we get, so you see, this was a good friend of mine. It's the best of all time appears twice because it's random, right? We're doing it randomly. Okay, let's make it a little bit wider. Look at it there. We look and we see we have Parky Pig, so let's see if we can correct that. So we have to, well, I'll correct that in the version I give to you. Okay, so look at it now. Bugs Bunny was a good friend of mine. Daffy Duck might have been funny years ago. Parky Pig is the best of all time. So now if you reload the page, so every time you come to this spreadsheet again, so we're going to reload the page, and you see how you get different values because it's doing it differently. Bugs Bunny Might have been funny years ago. Daffy Duck's the best of all time. Elmer Fudd is the best of all time. So let's try it again. So that you see we had best of all time for 2 and 4. Reload the page one more time. And now we get different values for each of them. Now Bugs Bunny is the best of all time. Elmer Fudd is too silly for me.